Let me once share the screen. Presentation. Yeah. I hope you all can see the empty, the blank slide, right? So let me see. I'm just trying to find the pen. It's not responding. Yeah. So let me start now. So in the this week's video demonstration, we worked on this auto level, right, or leveling experiment. So this leveling application, I will tell you where it is important. So when you want to prepare a road, right, when you want to develop an highway, or when you want to construct an highway or a cross section of highway, so you want to know how the road is, how the profile of road is there. Let's say now, let me draw a, okay, let me draw the profile view. Okay, so this is the initial undulating ground. This is how the ground is. So now with this you want to convert the ground into a smooth highway where you can, it will be easy to ride. Like this you can go, or else we can also make it somewhat like this also. Okay, so now if you see here, now this is the actual ground. Okay, let's say this is the actual ground or existing ground level. Actual ground. Now look like this. This is the road, right? Or we can say highway. Let's say. So now what you will do when you take these levels? Now obviously you have to cut all these material. You need to cut all this material, and at some portion you need to fill, right? You need to fill and some you need to cut. So this material is called as cut material, and this is called as fill material. So this profiling will be helpful in one way to identify the cut and fill, how much cut and fill of quantity you require for developing a highway or a railway. It is very much important when it comes to highway and railway because the alignment what you follow or the way what you follow, it is not fixed initially. So you have to fix it depending on some surveys. Now along the survey, if there is a undulating ground or there is some hill, small hill or small crest, so accordingly you need to fill or cut that portion so that your alignment can pass through those particular areas. So in those times you will want to know the level data. So without level data, one cannot proceed with further construction because this forms the basics of the cutting and fill data. One thing, and second thing, you will study in the next semester in the transportation engineering. This one. So there, what you will do? So basically, you will study about geometric design of roads. Now this geometry design of roads, basically you will decide how the geometry of highway should be so that the rider can comfortably ride without any uncomfortability. If you design a highway for riding speed of 100 km per hour, let's say, then the rider should be able to reach this speed without any difficulties. Okay, if it is more than 100, it is a safety issue, but with proper comfortability, the rider should be able to properly reach this particular speed, right? And second thing, if at that speed his rider is traveling, right, and whenever he sees some object, the rider should be able to stop the vehicle before colliding with any object. So for those things to decide, right, how to like what length we should give for a straight section, where should we get a curve. Let's say this is a highway, okay, highway is there here, and again you will slightly raise it, and again you will slightly make it fall, and again you will slowly raise it, right? Like this, though it's a smooth curve, right? It's smooth curve, but the rider should not feel uncomfortability in going along this particular path or particular curve. If it is uncomfortable in that, then it will lead to accidents or safety issue, or it will increase the vehicle operating cost. So many things are involved in this. So in geometry design, right? So the leveling data is basically used in designing highways. One, to develop plan and profile of road. Plan and profile of a road. Now, plan and profile is the final thing of an highway design, which will be implemented in the field, right? So, without plan and profile, one cannot start constructing the highway because it gives details of every like how much road should be raised, how much ground should be cut, how much ground should be filled. So all these details are given in the plan and profile. So I'll show you the plan and profile also. Simple actual how it looks. So plan gives you the top view, while the profile gives you the side view. Profile, basically this is a profile, right? This is a profile how the road goes, right? When you see it perpendicular to the direction of the traffic movement. That's called the profile. So this way, the leveling data is basically used to develop plan and profile. And second thing, along with plan and profile, one more important thing is the road camber. Now you might have seen, okay, most of the highways or near your home also, road is not never flat, right? It is slightly like this crown. So this crown, now this we call it as camber. We study in the next semester. We call it a camber. This camber is given to disperse the rainwater as soon as possible into the drains. So it will give a drains here. So rainfall comes on the particular pavement. So as soon as the water can just flow and go to the drain without damaging the pavement or the road. So this way, the leveling is also taken, or the levels when you take in the field, they will take main level in the along center line of the highway or the center line of the center line element, and also they will take some levels at across the center line. So that is to fix how much the cutting and filling along transfers also should happen, and also along longitudinal. So you will take one is center line thing you will take, and also I will take some other in the transfer direction. So like this, we take levels. One thing in longitudinal direction along center line, and also at some particular offset from center lines. Right? We have some offset here and from center lines. So this will be further processed in the office or by the AutoCAD drafter or the designer to design a plan and profile of a road. So with this plan and profile, one can estimate the whole cost of construction, right? Cost of cutting, cost of filling, and see the project viability. So this forms a very basic thing for developing in highway design. So now regarding the equipment, what we saw. Now, you might have seen in the most of highway projects, if you're going somewhere highway, so people will be taking level, okay, along the pavement, right? Those called basically leveling exercise. So we use main instrument. One is auto level. So auto level, we use main thing, and we use staff. So we use auto level, staff, and we use tripod and chalk to mark the points on the pavement or on the ground. So auto level, staff, tripod, and chalk. So mostly we use this, and along with the measuring tape. We also use a measuring tape. So these five equipments commonly used in leveling experiment. So now auto level, I explained in the video also. So basically it's an equipment which is a telescope with two openings. One is to view, other is to focus the object. And this auto level has all the focusing mechanism. That means if object is not visible, we can focus it for clarity, right? And also the auto level, if you see inside the, if you see from the eye vein and look into the object thing, you will see crosshairs. Now you see lines like this. The crosshairs, this particular point should coincide with the reading what you want to read. So like that you will decide the staff readings, right? So this is the auto level, and also while setting a level, so the important thing is you need to properly level it. So your centering is may not be required, but you need to level it. So leveling I also explained in the video that when you want to level, what you will look for, the auto level has a bubble, right? It has a bubble level. So when you level the auto level, the bubble should be in the center. That means it is properly leveled, because the leveling, if you don't level properly, right, the view what you're seeing may not be straight. Let's say we open the new slide. Yeah, let's say this is the auto level drawing, and let's say this is the tripod on which it is being placed. Now this, okay, let's say your staff is somewhere here. So you will see a line like this, right? It should be straight. In bubble is center, it will be straight. Now sometimes what happens, let's say bubble is not in the center, you will be reading somewhere like this actually. You will be reading up, or you will be reading somewhere down. So bubble should properly centered, so that the instrument is properly leveled and will be reading the data as per this particular line. Now this normally we call it as line of collimation. You might have seen in the theory, if they have finished in lecture class, we call it line of collimation. And like this is the height of instrument from here to the ground, right? Height of instrument we call. So this thing. And second thing, when you go for a talk about the staff. Now this is staff. Normally we use initially they used to use a wooden staff. It can be wooden, or it can be Invar steel, or it can be an aluminum staff. So basically, it's a lightweight material. It can easily be carried by the surveyor. Now in the staff, what happens? Now let's say we open one more slide. Okay. So let's say again, let me draw the auto level. This is placed here. Now let's say in front of the ground, like somewhat like this. So now when you place the staff here, it's on rising upper higher ground. Let's say it is much more taller. Let's say it is much more taller. So you will mostly see always the lower reading. You will see the lower reading. But if you keep staff here, okay. So if you keep staff here, so you will see much higher reading. That means what? Whenever you see a higher reading, let's say this is 2.3 meter, and this is 0.5 meter. If you see 0.5 meter, then it is somewhere rising ground. If you see somewhere 2.3 meter, then it is a falling ground like that. So this is just an indication that whenever you get a low reading, that means it's a rising ground, because as you go farther and farther from the equipment, from the auto level, it's a rising ground. Similarly, if you go farther and farther from the auto level and the reading goes on increasing, it's a falling ground. It is falling, so you increase. Let's say you measure here, you get some, let's say 2.2. Measure here, you get 2.4. You measure here, you get 2.4. It's falling ground. This way, one can easily understand how the data is in this collected in the site, and accordingly one can imagine or one can anticipate. Okay, what kind of ground it is? Is it rising ground? Is it falling ground, like that? So this way, this staff can be used to collect level data, right? And you further analyze in the site. And second thing, third thing I told, we use measuring tape. Now measuring tape is used because, so you need to take the distance between every staff point, like wherever you keep a staff. Okay, so those points you should take the distance, because when you develop a plan and profile or profile of a road, you will determine the elevation, right, from some reference point at some distances. Let's say you start from here, so this is 0. Okay, you'll go by 30 meters, right? Let's say this is 100 meter, and assume datum. When you go 30 meters, let's say ground is at 101 meters. Let's say you further go to 60 meters, you'll see ground is 102 meters. Again, you'll go to 90 meters. Let's say the ground is at 100.5 meter. Means when you join with a smooth curve, this is a profile what you get. This is a road profile what you get. These are the elevations what you measured from the field and collected, and this is the datum. This is a benchmark. Now, when you do any level survey in the field, right, you always take a benchmark. The benchmark is nothing but it can be a permanent benchmark or temporary benchmark. The permanent benchmark, normally they call it BM. It can be, let's say, at some point which they have carried the level from mean sea level, or let's say doing a point where it's exactly the mean sea level. So let's say then it will be MSL, mean sea level. So now what happens? You won't be having a mean sea level. Then you will take something called as temporary benchmark. So you can use the temporary benchmark or assumed benchmark, so to carry out the level. That means with reference to that particular benchmark, this is your other levels are being carried out. So like that. So but mostly what happens in this laboratory class, we assume 100 as a benchmark. So 100. So further from 100, we will carry out. We can take it 0 also, doesn't matter. But we have assumed 100, just an example. So, but in actual set conditions or actual survey, they will either look for some permanent benchmark or they look for temporary benchmark, right, which will be there for some years so that they can carry further work, right? Because in future, when they want to do again resurvey or again they want to conduct survey, they will carry levels again from temporary benchmark only. Again, they do recheck the levels. This way, this survey is carried in the field. So now let me go for the experiment thing. What we basically how it is done. So in the video already I had explained you what we had done basically. So what happens? First thing what we will do, we will set up the auto level. So once you place the auto level, okay, and once you level it properly, what you will do, you will keep the staff at some point, right? You will keep some at some point. Let's say this is our direction of movement. This is how we will go for further, right? You will keep nearly some permanent structure like a tree. It can be a tree, or it can be electric pole or some building, so that if someone want to repeat it next time, the server again should take the level or a initial reading of that particular point. So what we basically did in our server, in our video, so we started from the SBS building, right? We placed the auto in front of SBS building, and then near the SBS garden there's a tree. So a tree we place the staff. So that's a permanent structure. So tree we place the staff, and we took the initial reading. The initial reading is called as backside. So we call it as backside. So BACKSIGHT, right? So now we took the backside. Then what we did basically? Then we took this staff forward, right? So we turned this thing to level. So now the ground, if I draw the ground, actual ground was slightly rising, okay, rising ground. So if we start from here, it was slightly rising. Remember the SBS building, it's a rising ground. When you take from the left from the thing, as you go towards the main gate, it's a slightly rising ground, right? So then somewhere we are SCS building is somewhere comes here. Okay. So now you started taking readings here. Then we kept the staff, right? We kept the staff here. Then we took one reading. Right now that is called as IS. Okay, that is the intermediate site. We call it intermediate site. So then what? Then we again further move. Right now this distance is basically 20 meters. Now this is 0. Let's say. Now we move by 20 meters, and then keep the same staff here. Right? It will be slightly higher because ground is higher. You keep the staff on the center line, and then you note the readings again. So you got some reading. Again, that's the IS intermediate site. So again, you'll go here. You'll go by 40 meters. You'll keep the same equipment. So you get the reading. Again, this will be IS. Again, you'll go by 60 meters, right? And you will keep a staff at 60 meters. And then you will note the reading. So what you can observe basically, as you go forward, the readings are decreasing. Okay. So now we keep on taking intermediate side unless this whole staff is clearly visible. At some point, what happens? Let's say at some point you cannot further either properly focus or you cannot see the readings. Okay. So it will be so far that you can see readings. At that point, what you will do? You will want to shift the instrument, this whole setup forward. Okay. So at that case, what you will do? Now this, let's say that this is a point we can't see further. So now this will record at the 60 meter as the foresight. Record it as a foresight. Okay. So record it as a foresight. Then you will keep the staff there only. Wherever staff was, you keep it there only. You will carry the equipment and bring it back, bring it to the somewhere in front of the staff now. And let's say you are kept here. Don't mind the drawings, they're quite difficult to draw this writing pad. Yeah. So now what you will do, you have kept 60 meters record. Now again you will take one more reading at the same spot where you have taken the at 60th meter. So you will again read the reading and you will record it as a backside again. So whenever you will change the station, you will record a backside. At this point, at the point where you will take foresight and backside both is called as change point. We call it as change point. Okay, so we did this. So we took the backside on the starting point, then intermediate. Then when further readings are not visible or it is difficult to focus, we'll take the foresight, then shift the equipment right in front of again staff. Take the backside. So now what we'll do? Let's say the road goes like this. So we'll continue further. We'll move the staff front. We'll take next readings. Like this we did. right? It is experiment basically. So I hope you understand what is backside. Backside means the first reading what you take with reference to some datum or assumed benchmark is backside. Then you will start your leveling cell from 0 point. Let's say from 0 at every interval. Right? It could be 30 meters interval or 100-meter interval. If it's a curve, if you measure it curve, you go for a very closed interval. Let's say 0, 5 meters, 10 meters, because you want a smooth curve. But in highways, assume it's a straight highway. I mean, there's no curve. Then go for far interval, like 30 meters or 40 meters also. But in general, 30 meters followed everywhere. So then we took several intermediate points, and at the point where you cannot further see the readings, or let's say if you shift further this reading where you cannot see, then you will keep at 60th meter and then take the reading and you will report it as a foresight. Then what you will do again, you will keeping the staff at the change point, you shift some issue with network. So you take one. Yeah, there's some issue with the network. Let me connect to the Wi-Fi actually. Yeah, I hope I'm audible. So, yeah. So, meanwhile, when the server is taking all the readings, so one more server will be noting the readings. So for noting, we use a book called as leveling book normally. Leveling book we use. So I will show you how leveling book looks also. So in this leveling book, they will enter all the readings. Okay. So along with this particular center line level, we also took the side level also. Let's say if you see the road is always like this, right? Now we have taken at this point we took, okay, this is 0, 20 like that, right? Then we also took at this particular level, this point we took. That means for every point we have 5 readings, one at center line, then one at 1.75 meter, this 3.5 meter, this is 1.75, this 3.5 meter, totally this is 7 meter. This is standard road width for payments. Okay, 7 meter. So now why you have taken this? This is just to see how the side profile is or camber profile is, and this is to see the longitudinal profile. Okay, so this will help in the drainage purpose, and this will help in the riding quality and comfort purpose. So now this is how we collect the data. So basically we collect data in center line and also some offsets from the center line. So on at some intervals of 20 or 30 meters. This will be entered in a book called as a leveling book, right? And in the leveling book, we can enter some remarks, if any, and then we can keep collecting data. Okay. So now we'll see how data is entered in the level book and how to analyze it and what do we get from this. This is the data what we got basically. The whatever I'm showing in yellow highlighted are data from the field what we got. Now in the 0 distance, okay. So this is a 0, right? So now benchmark we have taken as I've taken benchmark as 100, right? Assume benchmark. So now at that point we will see the level at benchmark. It is 1.42. The 1.42 is basically the height of instrument. Okay, that is one. My height is the equipment is 1.42 meter above the benchmark. Okay. Now we will start this taking data from the 0th point. So now we will move the staff at the point and then record the reading. First intermediate it is 1.36. Then we go further, next 20 meters, we got 0.995. Then we go 40 meter, we got 0.7. So you can see how the readings are decreasing. It's decreasing means it's a rising ground. Then we go for 60 meter, it is 0.6. At 80 meter, further readings are not visible, clearly visible. I mean, at 80 meter it is visible, 1.175, but after 80 not visible. So what we did, the 80 meter reading, we record it as foresight. That means what? We record a foresight, the staff will remain at 80 meter. Okay, it won't move, but we will carry the equipment and go forward. That is, we go beyond 80 meter. Okay, so again we will take the back side. So this is change point one. Okay, 80 meter we got one change point. It means further if you go, let's say if you go, if I record this as a IS 0.175, and if you go to 100 meter, and I will not be able to see the reading from the staff. So I have to come back and again do taking. So we have started this reading at 80 meter, and we record it as 0.175 as the FS, and then we moved the equipment right beyond the 80 meter and recorded, leveled it, and recorded the first again the back side is 1.875. Now again we move the staff to 100 meter. That is, we recorded one first IS 1.47, then again 0.755, and next after at 140 meter, right, we recorded FS because beyond 140 meter it was difficult to see the readings from staff. So we recorded it as 0.435, right? And then at 140 meter again, we took the instrument from 80 meters, somewhere near 80 meters. Then we carried it beyond 140 meters, and the staff was at the 140 meter distance. So we recorded its backside again, 2.43, and again we recorded some intermediate sides, right? And the last reading always you'll record as a foresight. Last reading is a foresight. So we covered 200 meter distance in this particular exercise, right, along the SBS and SES building. So this data we will obtain from the field. This how data looks. So basically distance, backside, intermediate side, foresight, and then we have benchmark, assumed benchmark. Okay, so if you know in exact permanent structure benchmark, like a mean sea level or something, let's say you are in a near the railway station. In the railway station platform, you can see there is always MSL. So if you know the MSL, you can take that particular MSL or particular position. If you don't know, take 100. Okay, and then this is the change point one and the change point two. So all these things will be given in the remarks. In addition to this particular data, in the remarks will also enter what was the side transverse profile. Let's say this is center line. Okay, and then this is, let's say, left point one and left point two. This is right point one and right point two. So enter this particular data also in the remarks, so that it will be easy for further to draw the transverse profiles. Okay, now once you get this data, so now with this data one has to develop a profile of the site what they surveyed. Now to do this, to develop that particular profile, we have two methods. So one is rise and fall method. Okay, the other method is called as, one is another height of, we call height of instrument or height of collimation. So we'll see what is rise and fall method. Now basically what happens, now we started from BS, right? So BS we got 1.42. Now IS is 1.36. That means when we subtract BS minus IS, okay, let's say we subtract 1.42 minus 1.36, we get 0.36. Now since it's a positive value, you'll go on a rise, right? So whenever there is a positive value, let's say if it is 32 and you got 1.42, so this is minus there's a network issue. Okay, it's giving a lot of disturbance actually. So it's only in this particular thing. So as we here, yeah. So in the falling ground, the readings will get negative. So then what you will do? That will, you'll write this minus 0.1 in the fall. Okay, without any sign, you just write 0.1. So like this, you will do the calculations. So like rise. So 1.42 minus 1.36, you get 0.60, 0.06. Then 1.36 minus 0.95, you get 0.365. then 0.995 minus 0.9, we get 0.295. So since it's a rising ground, all were in the rise column. Okay, nothing was in the fall column. So when you do all this exercise, now let's say it is 0.26, you get 0.85. 1.895 by 1.4, 0.495. 1.4 minus 0.755, 0.645. 0.755 minus 0.435, 0.32. Then 2.03 minus 1.52, 0.505. I guess you will enter data, right? You will do the things. So now what you will? Now you will find the reduced level. We call RL reduced level. So basically what you will do, you start adding. Okay, so 100 plus 0.06, you are 100.06. If it is, let's say, assume 0.1, then you will subtract 100 plus 100.06 minus 0.1. You'll put the RL here like this. Now since everything is falling ground, rising ground, you keep on adding 100.6, then you will add this, then this to this, then this to this, so until you end up with all data. So like this you will calculate the RL. So now what you will do, so basically let's say once you know this particular level, now you know distance, you know this distance. Okay, so right, so you start the developing the profile now basically, right? So what you will do, say let me go to this one. Let's say this is the x-axis. 1 minute. Why did this appear actually? Okay, let's say this is the y-axis, okay, and this is the x-axis. So we'll mark 0, right? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, and this is the y-axis. Let's say we call it elevation. We'll mark all the RL here. So basically, you got this. Let me open this thing. So benchmark was 100. At 0, you got something 100.6, right? And then you got at the 20, you got 100.42, 100.42, let's say. Then again, you got 10.72, 100.72. Okay, so likewise you get some ground, you get point like this. Okay, you get some points, then you will smoothly join. You join them until you cover 200 meter. Whatever you get this thing, that's the profile of the road. That means if you stand perpendicular to the road, okay, and see from sideways, you can see a profile like this. It's a rising ground. Continuous rising ground you will see. Like this, they will draw the profile, and let's say if this is the actual ground profile, and let's say you want the road like this, straight road, then this whole portion, will basically be cut, right? You need to remove this portion. So like this, you will plan where to cut and where to fill using the profile, this profile data or leveling data. Similarly, I also told at all points we have taken the side profile also, that is transverse profiles. Now along with that, you will draw how the road looks transversely. Okay, so basically you will also send you all data. So we will do in AutoCAD also. So you will draw like this profile. So this is 0, right, center line. Then 1.75 how much you got profile. then how much you got at 3.5 meter. So again at 1.05 how much you got, then again at 3.5 how much you got. So we'll draw the profile like this. Okay, so at every 20 meters we'll draw a profile, and you can also draw drawing in 3D also if you know how to do 3D drawing. Okay, so now we don't expect to do 3D from your students. If you know 3D, you can do 3D also. In 3D, if you draw, you can show the full 3D view, like transverse plus the in both also. Okay, longitudinal. So this is how you will use this data to draw the profile. So now what happens? Now we will go to this is the thing, and here the small check is there here. So what happens? In the leveling data, you've done all the if you have done all the calculations correctly. So now you will sum all the BS, right? You will sum all the X height, and right you got something like 5.35, and sum all the foresight, and also sum all the rise, sum all the fall, and you will take difference between final RL minus first RL. The difference must be same. That means the sum of BS minus sum of FS should be equal to sum of rise minus sum of fall. Then it should be equal to final RL minus first RL. So a small check to see whether the calculation whatever you have made, all these things are correct or not. This way you can ensure that yes, the correct calculation is correct. This is a rise and fall method. So now we will go to height of collimation method. Okay, the height of collimation is basically the height of instrument, and it says how much high is the instrument from the particular point. Okay, so let's say you started with 100, right? The height of instrument is 100.2. So means you assume the ground to be 100. Okay, the ground is 100 level, but you are seeing a staff which is on the ground, right? You are seeing the staff which is on the ground, and you're reading the number on the staff. Now that staff is indicating what? It's indicating 1.42. That means what? Your instrument or your view, height of view is 1.42 above the ground. Assuming ground to be 100-meter elevation, you are basically seeing at elevation of 101.42. This is the height of instrument. Means this thing. This this is the ground. Let's say if I color we got. If this is the if this is the where RL is 100, let's say somewhere RL equals 100. Now RL is here, but you are seeing somewhere here, which is 1.42 meter above the RL. Total what will be height of instrument will be 101.42 height of instrument. Okay, either you will input the height of collimation 1.42 you'll place here. So now you'll keep on taking readings. Okay, here basically what you will do, let's say now here I will do 1.142 minus 1.36. That is directly you're doing here. You don't take rise and fall here. You directly do 101.42 minus 1.36. You get 100.06. Okay. So again you will do likewise, and then you will get similar readings. If you see compare this and this, you compare this and this. Let's say 100.425. 100.425 at same distances, the levels will be certainly same. Okay, they won't change, right? This should be correct. So again, if you see the differences will be again same here. 100, 104.225 minus 100 will be 4.225. So again, the things are correct here. So like this, you will do in the height of collimation method. So this is a this way you can do. So again also you can do same check here. That is sum of BS minus sum of FS must be equal to difference of last RL minus first RL. Okay, so like this you will use this particular RL data, right, to develop the profile of the ground. So now let me open a typical planet profile, how it looks. Let me see whether I have. Let me open it. me 1 minute. Okay, let me share you one profile of an airport's runway. Okay, so let me share the screen. Let me close this PPT screen and let me share the video screen. Okay, so here you can see the hope all can see the profile. Now this is the okay. This is the runway. Now this is a plan of runway. This is how the runway looks from top view. Obviously, it's a straight section. There's no curve and all. So now this is the top view you're seeing, but from the side view or profile view, how it will look and how the actual ground is. Okay. Now you see. If I zoom it more. Yeah. Now this black dot, black dash is what you see. It's actually the ground level. See how ground is undulating. Okay, so this is a ground, how it is undulating. So that means to draw this particular thing, they done leveling survey at every intervals of what? Now let me come back to this one here. Okay. Now this is the chainage. Okay, so 0, 20, 40. Every 20 meters they're taken levels. So 0, 20, 40, 60. So at every this they're taken the ground levels and then they have drawn this profile. Now they have designed this runway. Okay, my runway will go like this smoothly. And now these portions I need to cut. So these portions have to be cut, right? And this portion have to be filled because there's no material here, right? So profile is like this. So when road goes here, you need to fill this material, and it is above the profile, proposed profile, right? Then you need to cut this. Similarly, again, you need to cut this whole portion. So you need to cut. So normally when they do this profiling, right, this particular proposed FRL means finished road level. So they will see that the cutting and filling should be almost 50 to 50 ratio. So that whatever you cut can be used in filling the other portion of the pavement, other road. This is how the profile can be used to develop the okay. This leveling data can be used to develop the profile. If we see again here, they've taken some datum. Datum is 162 they've taken. Now this may be reference datum. Okay. So we have taken 100 in the exercise, they're taken 162. So like this, they will do this leveling. So ground level at the pavement center line PCL. So it's 174.10, then 172. It's falling here. Again 171. Again it is falling. 173. Again it is rising. Like this, they will draw the profile with the leveling data. Okay. So this is how they will conduct the they will develop the now also the expecting same thing. Okay. You may not do all these things. You will there is 0.20,
So your voice is not clear.
and then draw the yeah. What happened?
Sir, your voice is
Hello.
not clear. Your voice is not clear, sir.
Okay. Oh, is it echoing now? Now it's clear.
No, because there is a side noise over prevailing.
Okay. Well, actually, there is a fan. Actually, let me. Yeah. Okay. So now, if you see, this is thing what you'll be doing in this exercise. So basically, you will in AutoCAD, right? So you will draw an x-axis with the chain edge or a distance like this. So whatever distance we got, let me go to the particular screen. So whatever distance we got like this here, the 0, 20 and all, you will draw on x-axis, and this RL you will do on the y-axis. So I will send you only this data. Okay. So I expect you to calculate. Don't copy from the video or thing. I expect to calculate rise and fall and then RL, right? And then do this particular profiling, right? One thing. And second thing, I'll also send you a transverse profile. Transverse profile, as I told you, this particular this camber thing, and then you will draw for every 20 meter, like 0 how it looks the camber, for 20 meter how it looks, for 40 meter how it looks. So do that, and if you can develop a 3D drawing, it is good, well and good. If not, it's no issues. Okay. So in 3D you can show both how the road actually looks. That can be also be done. If that's not possible, not a problem. Okay. So but just draw a 2D drawing showing this camber profiles and the side profiles. So this you will do in this particular exercise. This you can submit after midterm exam. So no need to submit this week only. So after midterm exam, you can submit this whole thing. Okay. So this is what the leveling thing we did. So in the next class, we will do a same exercise, but we will do a contouring. Now contouring basically will contouring means it's an experiment and thing where you will use in many structures like catchment area development, in development of a dams. So all those things you'll use the contouring survey. So contour means basically what? A line which points of same elevation. Okay. So you'll develop those contours and then we can draw those contours again in the AutoCAD. That thing we'll do in the I think October 6th we'll do. Okay. And from October 7th, since the midterm starts, so October 8th there won't be any class. So we will probably meet again on October 22nd. Okay. Because 8th is exam, 15th is exam. So we can meet on again 22nd where I will explain the contouring experiment. On 22nd, you can submit the leveling this assignment. Okay, so that you can plan. So on October 1st, October 2nd week and third week, no need to submit the assignments. Okay, but the midterm will be here. So from 22nd, you submit the assignments. I mean these reports. Okay. So did you get all you got this particular thing leveling? Any
Sir,
doubt in this leveling?
sir, excuse me, one thing that
Yeah.
is that
Yeah. Tell me.
sir, for the plain table survey, we submitted two
Okay.
methods, and other two
Yeah.
methods it is required to, sir, as usual we are submitting on the Wednesday, but Wednesday is the exam. So can we submit in the after the exam?
See, for plain table survey, we haven't done resection and other method, right?
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
So no need to submit until we do. No need to submit. So we can just you have submitted. I think hope radiation and intersection, right? Till now.
Yes, sir.
So next you can submit the leveling data. Okay. Now need to submit the other two methods.
Okay, sir.
So you submit the leveling. I think that is pending, right? Leveling is pending. So you have submitted you have submitted ranging, then compass survey, then this
The
plain table
closed
survey.
tables, the closed tables
Yeah,
also need.
close towers also. Yeah. So next is this leveling data. So submit leveling on 22nd October,
Okay,
right?
sir.
So that will be we have plenty of time to do this. So in the class, has sir taught you leveling in the class in the uh,
Yes,
theory class?
yes.
Okay. So then you can you can calculate easily all the data what I sent you, and you can draw the profile in the AutoCAD, both transverse and longitudinal, and you can submit on 22nd. Okay. So note the date on 22nd. Submit the AutoCAD drawing. Okay. So this way you can learn the profiling also. Okay. So any doubt till now on in this part?
Sir, for every transverse profile means
Yeah.
how to draw that for every 20 meters. We will have to
Yeah.
draw a different
Yeah,
profiles
you'll draw
or
different. You'll draw different. That means, let me what happens. At 0th point, you will draw one profile. At 20th point, you will draw other profile. At 30th point, you will. I mean, at the 40th, other profile. Okay. Now, let's say, since you know the profile for everything, you can join also. Let's say if you're doing a 3D drawing, you can join them. You know from 0 to 20 it is a rising ground. Just imagine 3D. From 0 and 20 it is rising ground, right? And you know the
yes.
profile, right? You can join them. It gives a 3D appearance also that you can try in AutoCAD if possible. Okay. So you can draw like 0 first mark center line 0, 20, 40, mark those center line elevations. Then next you mark transverse elevation. Then you get a line and you join them. You get a actual road, how it will look. So that can also be done if it is time permits or if you know how to do that. Else they submit the drawing in 2D. Separate drawing for profile and separate drawing for the transverse profile. Okay. So any doubt in this till now? How to do calculation and all calculations, all those things? Hello? Hello, I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So any
Yes,
questions
sir.
till now? Any questions?
No, sir.
No. So shall we stop here?
Yes, sir.